the topic is systematic literature review, and today we will learn about how to actually do the SLR, systematic literature review paper, like a box. Okay, next one, yeah, this will be the agenda for today. Okay, basically it will divided into 4 sessions. Okay, so the first part we will look into what is SLR, what do we need SLR, how to search for SLR, and also what to include in SLR. So this will be the 4 topic that I will cover for today. All right, before I start the session, I would like to share a code with everyone here. So when we do a SLR paper, is very actually quite similar to what we to the code over here, meaning that when we do a SLR paper, we need to somehow looking back and also looking forward. Looking back, meaning that we need to find out what are the study that has been published in within our topic, and also what we can do for our future research. So this will be very related to SLR paper. Okay, and next one, yeah, this is the motivation part. If you want to move forward, often look back. Otherwise, you will forget where you came from and where you need to go. So DJ is my connection, my internet connection stable. Okay, so far
Yeah,
okay.
so far okay.
All right. Okay, good. So okay. So this is the let's move to the first session. What is SLR? So when we break the word down, okay, the word SLR can actually divided into 2 phases. The first one is the word systematic, and also literature review. So all these 3 the words combined will be what we say systematic literature review, and the short form here is SLR. So when we talk about systematic, okay, systematic is meaning that we need to use a structured way to correct, to critically evaluate, integrate, and also present the finding. The finding here refer to the past article, past research article that relevant to our research question or topic of interest. So this is the meaning of the first word, systematic. For this literature review, okay, is similar to the research methodology. Okay, research methodology that address the state-of-the-art research. State-of-the-art research meaning that the current state of the research. Okay, and also through this methodology, this method, we can actually build research to existing knowledge. So this is what we mean by literature review. So when we combine, okay, when we combine the word systematic and also literature review, meaning that we will offer, okay, our study tends to offer a broader and also more accurate level of understanding than traditional literature review. Okay, the SLR paper here is like it can help us to provide a more accurate level of understanding when comparing to the traditional literature review, especially on creating a firm foundation for advancing knowledge and also facilitating the theory development. Okay, so SLR is also viewed to provide critical discussion on a specific themes, okay, by integrating and also synthesizing all the past study, identifying the knowledge gap, and also developing new theoretical framework. This is all the underlying meaning about SLR. Okay, so and next one is about why do we need a SLR paper? Okay, so I'm sure this is one of the most quite popular way of publishing paper nowadays. Okay, so why do we need a SLR paper? When we do a SLR paper, the advantage here as in, okay, we can actually publish a paper without collecting the data, meaning that without using any empirical data, we can actually publish one paper. I'm sure for all the students, okay, especially for those who are doing your PhD right now, you cannot run away for publishing. Okay, so before in previous day, most of the time we will only able to publish the paper once we collected the data. Okay, once we collected the data, then only we slowly analyze and also come up with one publication. But without the data, without the empirical data, we can actually publish one paper. And this paper is usually what we call the SLR paper, meaning that you only discuss about the literature. Okay, you only discuss about the literature. So this is the reason why SLR paper is getting famous nowadays. Okay, so yeah, if you really want to do a SLR paper, then you might need to make sure that, okay, in your SLR paper, in your article, you actually emphasize on these few components. Okay, so the three main core component or SLR is actually is this organized, transparent, and also replicable. Okay, organized meaning that you need to present. Okay, you need to present your finding. Okay, and also present the process using a structural and also systematic way. Okay, and also for the next one, for this transparent meaning that you need to measure those articles that you include in your review, okay, without any, you need to somehow minimize the bias, okay, when you include those articles in the review process. And next one, the last one here, replicable, meaning that if if a future scholar, okay, if scholar they want to replicate your study, okay, replicate your systematic literature review, they will actually get a consistent result. For example, based on the search term that you use, okay, when other people, other scholars, they want to use they want to come up with a different SLR paper, they can actually duplicate, or they can actually use the search term that you propose in your paper. This is meant by replicable. Okay, so compared to traditional review, okay, compared to traditional review, the advantages of SLR paper, okay, including the first one here, in-depth understanding of a topic, okay, meaning that we can actually synthesizing the research finding to show evidence on a meta level, okay, on a meta level is meaning that in a more deeper manner, and to also uncover area in which more research is needed. Okay, this is the first advantage. The second one is about the transparency. When we do SLR paper, this is something very, very important compared to the traditional review. So when you do your SLR paper, you need to make sure you review, okay, you use a review protocol. Okay, you use a review protocol to make clear on the article that you include in the review based on those inclusion and also the exclusion criteria. Okay, so these are the core components for the SLR paper. And why do we need to do a SLR paper and not a traditional review paper? All right, so next slide, I will present to you about the differences. Okay, these are the differences between the systematic literature review and also the traditional literature review. All right, so yeah, this paper, this paper you can actually get it from this article. Okay, it's clearly defined and also explain what is the specialty, why systematic literature review is so special. Okay, so it can actually explain based on these few components. All right, and next one is about the type of SLR paper. Okay, when we do a systematic literature review paper, it's actually very, very similar to empirical research. Okay, maybe some of you maybe have the experience in doing empirical paper. So the process is quite similar, except that in the SLR paper, we do not collect the primary data. We do not collect any empirical data for our paper. But the process that we design the paper is very similar. Okay, for empirical paper, we have many different types of paper. For example, we are doing qualitative paper or quantitative paper, or we are doing experiment research paper. So for the SLR paper, okay, it can be actually categorized or classified into numerous ways. Okay, the three most common type of SLR paper that we can find in the literature is all these three. Okay, the first one is about the domain-based review. Okay, and also second one here we have this theory-based review and also method-based review. So for this, the first one, domain-based review, is central or is more focused on topical domain. Okay, so there are altogether 5 different types of domain-based review. The first one is what we call the structured review. Structured review meaning that you will focus more on the method. Okay, you will focus more on the widely used method, the theory, and also the construct. That means in your literature review paper, your SLR paper, these are the main focus. Okay, and also it will highlight the changes. Okay, you will highlight the changes in the methodological profile over the year. Okay, over the time, the research published. Okay, and also some of the commonly research finding across the time. This will be for structured review. And second one, we have this framework-based review. Framework-based review meaning that you will use a framework. Okay, you will use a framework when compiling all the information. For example, after you search all the article, you will classify it based on a model. Okay, based on a framework. For example, you form a model. Okay, by highlighting what are the antecedents. Okay, what are the antecedents for this that will influence on this particular outcome. Okay, the antecedent, the mediator variable, the moderator, and also what are the outcomes that have been found by others researcher. Okay, so you will present everything using a framework. Okay, and the third one is about bibliometric review. Okay, so for bibliometric review is a bit special. Why? Because for when we do a bibliometric review, we will present more on the descriptive. Okay, we will present the descriptive information. For example, we will analyze on the trend. Okay, how many countries have published this topic, which journal have published more on this topic, and also what is the core citation between all the articles that published under these keywords. So this is what we mean by bibliometric review. When you do a bibliometric review, okay, the advantage here is you do not need to actually read the article one by one. Okay, this is the specialties about the bibliometric review. You do not need to read the article one by one. You just need to describe. Okay, you just need to find out some of the descriptive information based on the list of articles that you found from the database. All right, and the next one is about the hybrid review. Hybrid review is if you want to remember what is meant by hybrid review, is actually quite simple, meaning that the moment when you do a combination, okay, you do a combination of different review, okay, meaning that you are actually doing a hybrid review. For example, I do a bibliometric review and also I use a structural review. Okay, when you do a combination of different type of review, meaning that you are actually working on one hybrid review paper. Okay. And the last one, review aiming for theory development. Okay, this type of systematic literature review paper will somehow develop the framework, develop a theoretical model. So in the end, the reader, they will get some idea. Okay, let's say if they want to penetrate this topic, what are the framework that they can use? Okay, since the author already help us to compile and also analyze and also evaluate most of the past study. So when the author propose a framework, meaning that these are the framework that had not been published before, so the reader can actually get some idea, okay, based on this type of literature review paper. Okay, so in this paper, the author will actually highlighted more on the develop a framework that have not been tested before, okay, untested framework. And also they will propose some of the testable hypothesis or proposition. Okay, so this is meant by review aiming for theory development. And the next one, okay, the second type is about theory-based review. Theory-based review is very straightforward, meaning that you will focus, okay, you will focus on analyzing the law of a specific theory in a subject area or in a particular field. Okay, for example, I want to compile a SLR paper that discuss about the use of theory plan behavior in hospitality and tourism, or the use of theory plan behavior in marketing area. Okay, so this is more on the theory-based review. That means your focus here is about the utilization of a particular theory in a particular or in a specific area. Okay, so and next one for the method based, okay, is very similar to the theory, but the focus here is about the use of a particular method. Okay, you want to analyze the utilization of a specific method in a subject area. Okay, for example, I want to address the use of structural equation modeling in marketing, the use of qualitative research in tourism, or the use of quantitative research in business and management. Okay, so this is meant by theory-based review. All right, if you want to have more understand about what is meant by all this type review, okay, I have included some of the example. Okay, these are some of the paper that I found quite reasonable and quite the content are quite quality. So if you want to get some idea about your SLR paper, you can somehow look into all these paper. Okay, so the first one here is about the domain base. So we have this first article study about the authenticity in dining experience. We have this mastic marketing, okay, SLR paper about the mastic marketing in the marketing area. And this is the example for the theory-based review. Okay, for example, this the article that published in the journal Hospitality and also Tourism Management discuss about the use of TPP, and also we have this servant leadership theory in organization context. And next one, this is the method-based review paper. Okay, that discuss about the use of partially square in structural equation modeling, and this review is specific, okay, to information system research. Okay, so these are some of the paper that you can go through, okay, if you want to get some idea for your SLR paper. And next one, okay, if you want to know more about what is systematic review, okay, you can actually go through these two article. Okay, these are the articles that I found quite useful as well. In these two papers, the author, the researcher actually discuss quite a lot about the way that you need to some of the remark that you need to remember, okay, when you want to draft your SLR paper. All right. So before I move to the third session, I will check for this Q question. Any questions so far? Do you think it is a question from Sue? Do you think it's necessary for a SLR paper to have a proposed concession framework for future study? And if for me, I think it is quite important. Not if you're not able to propose a concession framework, my suggestion is you can actually list down you can actually somehow discuss what are the direction that the reader can actually explore in your SLR paper. Not necessarily to have one proposed concession model, but you can actually explain about what are the variables or what are the contexts that the reader can actually explore if they want to study in this particular topic. Okay, not necessarily to have the model, but I think for you to propose a direction for future research is quite important for SLR paper. If you aim for top quality or you want to publish in the top journal, yeah, I think this is something that the reviewer will want to see. Okay, and this question is okay, this question is for bibliometric review paper. If you say about the bibliometric review paper, the concession framework is not necessary. It's not necessary for you to have one concession framework. Okay. Yeah. I think Sue have uploaded, have posted the article, right? Should anyone?
Yeah, Dr. Lim, yeah, like the
Thank you.
previous one, yeah. Yeah, thanks for your answer, yeah, because I got this question from a reviewer, and they say it's better for you to include a conceptual model into a SLR paper. So that's why I get confused, because I think maybe it depends on the type of
Yeah.
SLR paper, and also like Q1 or Q2 journal we're aiming, right? But I
Yeah.
rarely see people include a SLR model, right?
Mm.
No, not SLR, I mean a
The
conceptual model.
conceptual model is not compulsory. I think this is the idea from the reviewer himself or herself. Yeah, but I can say for you to highlight the research direction, the potential area of the potential direction for future research is very important, but not necessary for you to have one conceptual model. But since the reviewer suggests you to do so, maybe you just need to follow. Otherwise, later paper get rejected.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks. Thanks, Lim.
Right. SLR identify there's one question from Dr. Tan. SLR identify antecedent and outcome across paper. Which category does it fall under? Theoretical SLR. So if the paper is want to highlight about the antecedents and also the outcome, it can be either structure review, or otherwise, let's say if you have if you want to somehow compile the information using a model, using a that means you provide a figure to evaluate or to explain whatever finding that you have found in the paper, you can actually use the framework-based review paper. Okay, framework-based meaning that you clearly highlight, you can draw a model. Okay, what are the antecedents similar to what we draw for our research model. Okay, you can list down these are the antecedents that are available. For example, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, and also what are the mediator, moderator, and also the outcome. Yeah, you can use the theory a framework based, okay, to design your SLR paper. This is my suggestion to Dr. Tan. All right. Any question? Okay. Next one. All right. Next is about the searching, how to actually search for SLR article. Okay, so for us to search for the SLR paper, we can actually use a structured approach, okay, to determine the source material for a review. So the structured approach here can be divided into these two methods. Okay, the first one is about going backward, and also we have this go forward. Go forward is very straightforward, meaning that let me close that. Go forward meaning that you will search the journal, okay, using the database. You will somehow identify the keywords. After you identify the keywords, you will use all the keywords that you found, okay, to find out to identify, to find what are the journal that is available, what are the article that is available. And another one is about the I'm sorry, I have a phone call. I'm not sure who is that, so let me pick up the call for a while. The call is wait for a while.
All right. So once again, if you have any questions, you may post in the questions anytime you want, so that our speaker could read them as soon as she sees it.
All right, sorry. Because I worry there's the call for the Ministry of Health, because they will somehow call and also call us from time to time to check whether we are actually stay in the room. So I worry there is a call from the ministry side. All right, let me continue. All right, so this is where we start just now, okay, about the searching, okay? So we need to use a structured approach to search for the SLR article. Okay, so yeah, this one, the go backward, meaning that you will review the article or you will search the article based on the citation. Okay, this is the differences between what it means by go forward and also go backward. Okay, the purpose for us to review the article based on the citation is we want to measure, okay, we want to measure ourselves to not actually miss out or overlook any important article, okay, any important article that are relevant to our research area, relevant to our subject area, our topic, okay. So this is two structured approach that we will use when we want to search from the SLR paper. All right, so in the next slide, I will share about some of the tips, okay, that you can use when you want to search the SLR article. So yeah, when we search for the SLR paper, make sure you do all the searching from the academic database, for the journal database, okay? Don't try to search the article or the information in the general search engine. Make sure you search all the article from the journal database, okay, to make sure that all the information that we extract or all the information that we include in our SLR paper is actually coming from a quality source, okay. So what are the 6 tips? Okay, these are the top 6. Okay, these are the 6 techniques that I think quite useful. Okay, and for this technique is not only restrict for student or for the researcher that want to do a SLR paper. You can actually apply this 6 technique when you want to search for any article. Okay, for example, I used to apply this technique when I want to search for the content for my hypothesis development. When I want to find out, what are the gap, okay, what are the gap in this topic. Okay, let's say if I want to do a study about artificial intelligence in marketing, so I will use all this technique to find out, is there any relevant article or what are the gap that I can actually address from the past study. Okay, so yeah, next one, okay, I will discuss in more detail about each of the technique over here. I think there's one question coming in. Question from Sue about the number or the type of database we use, method, or that depend on which journal we aiming. For example, I see SLR paper that use Scopus or Web of Science only. The type and also the number of database, there is not any guideline. Okay, so far there is not any guideline about which database or how many database that we can use. So my suggestion as in, if we talk about the social science paper, okay, we talk about the SLR paper in social science, most of the time we will use Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, so this is the type, okay, the type of database that we can use, Scopus or Web of Science. There is also some argument about whether we can use the search, okay, whether we can use the information or the result from the Google Scholar. Okay, so for Google Scholar, it's not so advisable. Why? Because as we know, in Google Scholar, we can get many different type of article. Okay, different type as in whether the article is actually published in the cited journal or non-cited journal. Okay, and also sometimes we will get the article, the result from those documents, from those published in the chapter in book or those in the book. Okay, so you are not so advisable to use the Google Scholar, okay, to search for your SLR paper, but Google Scholar can be one of the supporting database, okay, not to use Google Scholar as the leading database, but you can use Google Scholar as the supporting database. Okay, for example, after I search the article, okay, after I search the article using Web of Science or Scopus, Okay, I want to find out, is there any article that I missed? Okay, for example, when we search the article in the Web of Science and also Scopus, okay, most of the time, okay, actually all the article in these two database are considered cited journal. Okay, cited journal. If you do not want to miss any non-cited paper, okay, because sometimes when we want to include the paper, okay, when we want to review the paper, we are not so, we can actually include both cited and non-cited. As we know, there are also some non-cited paper are actually quite important in our area. Okay, so if you want to include, you do not want to miss any paper, you can use the search in the result from the Google Scholar to find out, is there any non-cited paper that you should not miss in your area. Okay, so this is my suggestion about the database, and also the numbers of database. Okay, the numbers of the database, I can say is it will be depends on your research question, or depends on the topic that you want to understand. Okay, for example, if I search, okay, if I search the article, okay, the topic about artificial intelligence, okay, artificial intelligence, let's say these are the topic that not so not published in, is, let's say this is the topic that is quite considered quite new, not many articles that's actually discuss about this. So what I can do is I can actually use the result. Okay, I can actually combine the result for Scopus and also Web of Science. Why? Because if I just focus on one particular database, the result, the number of articles that I get may be quite limited. Okay, if you want to get a more broader number of articles for your topic, then you can use two different database to combine the article. Okay, but let's say my topic is something quite general. That means it has been published quite a lot in lesson year. So what you can do is you can actually limit the numbers. Okay, you can limit down the numbers of article review, but just focusing on one particular database. Okay, for example, you can just focus on Web of Science, because Web of Science are those articles with impact factors. Okay, so this is something that you can think about it based on what are the topic that you are doing right now. Okay, there's not any specific guideline how many and also what database that you can use. It will actually depends on what are the topic that you want to address for your SLR article. Okay. Yeah, another question. Any optimal number of article for our final result of SLR searching? We need to limit down. Okay, so another question is about what is the optimal numbers of article that you can include in your that you should include in your SLR searching. All right, the numbers of article is also depends on what are the topic that you want to study. Okay, let's say the topic is something very new. Okay, let's say you only able to get 20 to 30 articles. It's not an issue as long as the process, okay, the process that you searching the article is actually quite transparent. I guess the reviewer will more focusing about the methodology, the process of your searching, instead of about how many articles that you can retrieve or how many articles that you include, because it all depends on the topic. Okay, if your topic are something new, I'm not it's quite difficult for you to increase to let's say 100 or 200. Okay, it depends on what are the topic that you try to understand. Okay, that just to make sure that the way you report, okay, you report your methodology is quite using a transparent approach. Okay, using all those review protocol to review your article. If the process are considered reasonable, I don't see any reason for the reviewer to reject your paper. Okay, the process is more important, because as I discussed just now, for SLR paper, the transparency is very important. When you should report about more on the you should report more detail about the process that you use in searching the article. What are the reasons for you to include this article, and what are the reasons for you to exclude those articles? Okay, so the process is more important. So for this number, okay, if you really want a threshold number about the article that you can include, you can refer to the paper. Okay, one of the paper, let me go back to the previous slide. In this paper, the author, the paper by Justin Paul, okay, The Art of Writing Literature Review. In this article, the author actually highlighted, okay, the suggested or the reasonable number of article for SLR paper is between, I think it's between 40 to 500. This is the magic number that proposed in this article. Okay, if the number of article that you search for your SLR topic is fall between this range, you can actually, if you want to if you want to let the reviewer, okay, feel that the number is reasonable or more credible, you can actually cite this paper. Otherwise, not compulsory. In fact, it's not really compulsory for you to put a citation for the number of article. All right. And yeah, next one is, okay, next one we will discuss in detail about the technique, okay, about the technique. So the first technique is about choosing the search term, okay, choosing the search term. What is the term? Okay, about choosing the search term. So when you want to search the article, okay, when you want to search the article, make sure you include, okay, make sure you include more than one keywords, okay, include more than one keywords. Okay, for example, if I want to do a SLR paper about halal tourism, okay, you should not just search the article using the word halal tourism. You need to find out what are the alternate keywords or alternate phrases that you can use. These phrases must have a similar meaning. Okay, so let's say if I do halal tourism, okay, if I do a SLR paper on halal tourism, when I do the searching, I should also include the word of Muslim tourism or halal friendly tourism, because the more number of keywords that you use, okay, in the end you will get more numbers of article. Okay, don't just depends on one or two. Okay, try to find out what are the alternate keywords that can actually apply, okay, to your topic. Okay, so how to actually find the alternate keywords? Okay, there are a few ways that you can use. First one, you can search based on the search engine. Okay, based on the search engine. Okay, meaning that from the scopus, for example, from the scopus, from the Web of Science, okay, in the database. Okay, the database, the website will actually suggest to you what are the alternate keywords that you can use. Those alternate keywords are actually found. Okay, these are actually the keyword that usually found when the author publish a topic similar to the keywords. Okay, for example, in halal tourism, okay, what are the keywords that usually found for those articles in halal tourism? Okay, so you can get some idea from the search engine. Okay, you also can find the alternate keywords from the abstract and also the keywords used by the author. Okay, so before you do a searching, okay, before you do a searching for the topic, make sure you have some basic understanding about your area. Okay, for example, if I want to do a SLR paper about artificial intelligence. So I need to make sure myself can actually have some basic understanding about what are the topic that usually published under these keywords. Okay, so from here it can give you some idea about what are the alternate keywords that you can actually use. Okay, so yeah, maybe I will show you how to actually get the keywords. Okay, get the alternate keywords from the search engine. Let me share my screen for a while. All right. So let me log into the database first. So for today, the demonstration will be more on using Scopus, okay? Because when compared to Web of Science, I think most of the university is subscribed to Scopus. more of the universities subscribe to Scopus, so this consider quite useful. Okay, so for example, right now, if I want to search an article about halal, okay, about halal, so you can do just type the word here. Okay, so next one what you can do is, okay, you can scroll down and you go to this over here, okay, you will see there is one features, okay, there's one button for these keywords. You just click on this, okay, you will get some idea, okay, you will get some idea about the keywords, okay, what is the relation, okay, what is the relationship for all these keywords. For example, okay, halal, if I search the word halal, these are the most common used keywords that I can actually consider, okay. So after that, you need to somehow identify by yourself, okay, you need to screen through and also identify by yourself what are the potential keywords. For example, from the word halal, okay, I can also see the word Muslim. Okay, so later when you want to search about halal tourism, make sure you include Muslim tourism as well. Okay, this is the idea, okay, how to use the search engine to get the idea of alternate keywords. Okay, other than this Muslim, okay, as you can see, we also have the word Islamic. Okay, so for halal tourism, okay, halal tourism itself, I can actually expand it to Muslim tourism and also Islamic tourism. This is what I mean by using the search engine, okay, to get more articles. Okay, and next one, the second tip about searching for abstract phrases. Okay, searching for exact phrases, meaning that, okay, you can actually use the double quote when you want to do searching. Okay, so for example, when we use the double quote, we will get the word to appear next to each other, okay, in an exact phrase. Okay, for example, when I want to search halal tourism, make sure you include the quotation mark, okay, the double quotation mark for halal tourism. Okay, so you will get all the articles with the word, with the keywords halal tourism. If without using the quotation mark, you will get the article that discuss about the halal and also tourism. Okay, so if you want to get more highly relevant article, okay, get the article with highly relevant keywords, make sure you include the double quotation. Okay, the same for the word destination image. If without the double quotation, I will get those article with the word destination and also some article about the image. And in the end, the article that I get, okay, that I found, okay, might not relevant to destination image, because the word image can actually can be price image, can be country image. So if you want to get more relevant article, make sure you include the double quote. Okay. And the tips number 3 is about using the field code function. Okay, using the field code function to narrow down the search. Okay, how to actually apply this? Okay, from the database that you use, okay, the database will actually suggest to you what are the applicable field code, okay, that you can include when you want to do the searching. And for this field code function is varied according to the database that we use. Okay, for example, in Scopus, okay, these are the field code that is available. But if you want to do a search in the Web of Science, you might need to use a different field code. Okay, so what are the most commonly used field code? Okay, the most common one in Scopus is this one. Okay, title, abstract, and also the keywords. Okay, when you use this field code, meaning that later, okay, you will get all the article, okay, with the keywords appear in the title, in the abstract, and also the keywords. Okay, so when entering this one, entering the field code, okay, you will able to get all the article with the words halal tourism in the abstract article title and also the keywords. Why do we need to include the field code? Okay, if without using the field code, we will get the article, okay, the article with the keywords that appear in any session. Okay, if we want to get sometime, okay, most of the time when the when the researcher, okay, when the researcher publish their work, let's say in their study, okay, this is let's say in their study, these are those variables that they actually included, or these are the variables that actually focus in this particular article. They will actually include this word, okay, in their abstract, either in the abstract or in the keywords. Sometimes it's not so on the title, okay. When you read the article, I'm sure you have known about this, okay. Sometimes the title is talking about a different thing, but the content is another thing. So in order to get a more detailed search for those for all the article, okay, make sure that you include the field code of title, abstract, and also keyword, so that you will get more article later, okay. This is the tips number 3. Next one, we have this tips number 4 about using the truncation and also the wildcard. Okay, so the difference between the truncation and the wildcard as in the position, okay, the position where we actually place a symbol. For this truncation, okay, usually we will place a symbol at the end, okay, at the end of the words. Okay, for example, some of the most common used symbol, okay, including this asterisk, the question mark, and also a dollar sign. Okay, you can actually put the symbol either one. Okay, you do not need to include all, just either one. Okay, at the end of the word. Okay, for example, if I put something like this, okay, THERAP and one asterisk, either asterisk, question mark, or the dollar sign. Okay, you will search for the result containing, okay, the words that ending with PY, IES, IST, and also ISTS. This is usually used when we not sure whether we should include the keywords in singular or in plural. Okay, or for example, if I want to search about let's say if I search about children, okay, I want to search about children. I'm not sure whether I should include child or I should include the word children. So what you can do is you just put in CHILD and one truncation symbol. Okay, so from here you will get more result. You will get a border search, okay, border result. And next one, for this wildcard, the purpose is very similar to the truncation to enrich our search. Okay, but when we want to put when we want to apply the wildcard here, the symbol is usually put within a words. Okay, for example, okay, we're not sure whether what is the spelling. Okay, we're not sure about the spelling of the word. Okay, for example, whether we should follow American spelling or we should follow the spelling from British. Okay, so you can actually, to avoid to minimize any bias, you can actually include the wildcard technique. Okay, so for the wildcards, okay, you also can put in the symbol just either asterisk, question mark, or this hashtag symbol. Okay, so for example, if I want to search, okay, I want to use the keyword analyze. I'm not sure whether I should use Z or I should use S. So you can just put asterisk, okay, between the Y and also E. So in the end, you will get the article, okay, with the words analyze that spelled in Z and also S. Okay, similar to the word behavior. Okay, sometimes the author will use OUR and sometimes they will just use IOR. Okay, so to avoid any mistake, you can include the wildcard. Okay, this is the purpose for technique number 4. And next one is about using the Boolean logic, or what we call the Boolean operator. Okay, so the Boolean logic or operators, okay, the purpose here is to use different combination of search term that allow narrow or border the search. Okay, for example, if I want to narrow a search, okay, if I want to narrow a search, I can use the Boolean operator and. Okay, so what is mean by and? When I use the word and, meaning that I will get those articles with the keywords A and also keywords B. Okay, it means that this article will include both the keyword A and also B. So I will get something in between. Okay, when you look at this figure over here, this is meaning that we will get the result that appear in something in between. Okay, so when we use the word and, okay, we can actually narrow a search. Okay, and this Boolean operator and is usually applied when we want to search for two keywords with different meaning. Okay, two keywords with different meaning. Okay, for example, I want to search the word responsible tourism and also Asian. Okay, responsible tourism and Asian. Okay, make sure that both the keyword that you use are having different meaning. Okay, when you want to use the Boolean operator and. So in the end, I will get all the article that discuss about responsible tourism in Asian context. Okay, so the second one is about the word or, the Boolean operator or. Or is to border a search. When you want to apply the words, the Boolean operator or, okay, you need to make sure all the keywords that you include having a similar meaning. Okay, having the similar meaning. Okay, for example, just now when I search for halal tourism, okay, when I search for halal tourism, I can use the Boolean operator or Muslim tourism or Islamic tourism. All the keywords are having similar meaning, okay, for the Boolean operator or, okay. And third one is about and not. This is something that we not usually use, okay, but in case, okay, I'm not sure what are the topic that you are working for your SLR. Some of the sometimes we might need to use this, okay, for it. Why we need to use the word and not, okay, the purpose over here is also to narrow a search. Okay, we want to measure the result do not contain a specific term. Okay, for example, I want to search about mobile food. Okay, I want to search about mobile food, but my area I not cover on the student. Okay, the respondent for those article that I want to review should not cover students, should not include students. So what I can do is I will use the words mobile phone and not student. So all the article later that I found, okay, will actually have more focus on the use of mobile phone, but they will not include any article, okay, that discuss about the use of mobile phone among the student. Okay, so this is the purpose why we need to include the Boolean operator and not. Okay, and next one is about the citation searching. Okay, this is similar to what we discussed just now about the going forward. Okay, meaning that you will search the article based on the most cited article. Okay, you search the topic. Okay, you just put in, what you can do is just put in the keywords. After that, you do a filter. Okay, you can filter based on the number of citation. So from here, you can actually get the idea that these are the articles that you should not overlook when you want to discuss about this topic. Okay, this technique you also can use when you want to search the article for your, let's say for your thesis. Okay, for example, in my thesis, okay, my PhD thesis is about study about the retail application. Okay, so what I can do is I just do a quick search, okay, by typing the word research the retail application. So from there I can get the idea. Okay, let's say if I'm still, let's say I just start doing my research. Okay, I want to get some idea about what are the area or what are the article that I can read. You can use you can actually apply this technique. Okay, I can use the database, let's say Scopus, okay, by typing the words retail application. So from that you can get some idea about which article that you should read first. Okay, before, let's say before you meet your supervisor, you are running out of time, so you want to get some you want to actually read some, do some reading, so you can actually apply this technique. So from here you can know that in this area, okay, in the topic that you do, okay, let's say for my topic retail application, these are the articles that I should read, these are the articles that I should actually include in my write out. Why? Because these are the articles that has been cited, okay, they have been cited many times by different authors. All right, so these are the tips number 6. Any questions so far? All right, no, so far no question, right? Oh, one question. One question from Dr. Tan. Do you recommend the use of bullet or to search separately? For example, do we search halal or Muslim and tourism or search separately halal tourism then Muslim tourism? All right, for this searching, most of the time I will search concurrent. Okay, so maybe I can show you how to actually search the. Okay, let's go back to this Scopus database. Okay, let's say if I want to search a SLR paper about halal tourism. So what I can do is you can click on this. When you go to the Scopus, okay, the search here is actually divided. Okay, there are two different features for searching. Okay, the first page that you see, okay, when you log into your Scopus account, the first page that you see is actually the basic search. Okay, in the basic search, you can actually search the article using the basic function. Okay, so most of the time for SLR paper, if you are working on SLR paper, most of the time we will use this advanced search technique. So you just click on this advanced document section. All right, so from here, you can actually include all the technique that we discussed just now. Okay, for example, in technique number 3, okay, technique number 3, we discussed about the use of field code. Okay, so what you can do is just type the field code. Okay, what are the field code that is available? If you have no idea or you are new to this Scopus search, you can actually refer to the site over here. Okay, over here the website has actually suggest to you what are the field code that you can actually apply. Okay, for example, okay, so let's say I use the field code title, abstract, and also keywords. Okay, I put in the field code, and next one you need to do is you can slowly type, okay, or slowly include what are the keywords that you want to use. Okay, for example, if I want to search for halal tourism, I can do something like this, halal tourism. Okay, make sure when you do the searching, you apply the technique number 2 as well. Technique number 2 is the use of double quotation. Okay, include the double quotation. Okay, let's say I want to search for halal tourism. At the same time, I will include also the words of Islam tourism. Okay, I just include anything that come to my mind right now. Muslim tourism. Okay, so let's say these are the 3 keywords that having similar meaning to halal tourism. Okay, they say halal tourism is the topic for my research. Okay, at the same time, okay, let's say so I show you I do a quick search first so you can see some differences. Okay, so after you include all the keywords, okay, you can do a quick search. Just click on this search button. And remember, when you use the Boolean operator, all the keywords here are actually having the same meaning. Okay, so do a quick search. This is the number of article that you get by using these 3 keywords: halal tourism, Islam tourism, and also Muslim tourism. So next step, what you can do is, okay, since you have 142 articles, you can just do a quick look, okay, roughly go through what are the articles that is available. Okay, so when you use the Scopus, it's quite straightforward. You can actually click on this abstract. So from the abstract, you can roughly go through the content of the article. Okay, so when you go through here, you can actually see the words halal tourism is actually appear next to each other. The words is appear next to each other. We will not get any article with the word halal itself and also with tourism itself. So we will get some more relevant article. Okay, so you can do a quick read. And next one, okay, let's say, okay, if I want to narrow down the search, okay, if I want to narrow down the search, okay, for example, right now I want to search for halal tourism, okay, but I want to narrow down to a specific context. Okay, let's say I put in, I want to do a halal tourism in, let's say in, what are the, any idea? What are the keywords that I can put in? What are the contexts? Let's say about halal tourism and the word tourist. Okay, and the word tourist. This is how we apply the Boolean operator and okay, this is how we apply the Boolean operator and when you see over here, okay, you have the first bracket. Okay, you have the first bracket about the halal tourism and the second bracket here is about the tourist. All these two keywords are having different meaning. Okay, this is how the and appear. Okay, and also when you do the when you include the Boolean operator and, okay, make sure the word and is appear outside the bracket. Okay, outside the bracket. This is how we include the Boolean operator and. Okay, for example, the first bracket we have this, all these Muslim tourism, halal tourism, Islam tourism, and sorry, and also the word tourist. Okay. Okay, so over here, make sure you include two double bracket. The first bracket is for halal tourism, and the second bracket here is about the tourist. So let's say for this word, tourist, I'm not sure whether I should use singular or I should use plural. So what I can do is remember about the truncation, and also the wildcard. So you can also include one symbol over here. So later in the end, you will get the words, okay, the article with tourist in singular and also in the plural form. Okay, so next one, let's do a quick search. Just now we get 140 something. So now when you narrow down, okay, when you include the word tourist, the numbers of article that you get is actually reducing. Okay, from 140 it reduced to 4. So meaning that these are the article that's discussed about Muslim tourism and also about the tourists. Okay, so let's say this is your SRR topic, meaning this could be the result that you can include. But of course, 4 articles is too little. Okay, 4 articles is too little. So what you can do is trying to find out what are the potential keywords, okay, that is relevant to the halal tourism and also the tourists. Okay. In Bali, there's one suggestion about Bali. Okay, later you can do a search for using these keywords. For the words, there's another one question here. May I clarify for the use for the word all and not? We always use the capitalized letter across all the database. And for this one, okay, for about the whether we should use big capital or we should use small capital, right? For the across all the database. It depends most of the time when you type the words in the database. Okay, they will the website will actually suggest to you. Okay, for example, if I type all, okay, it will automatically come up. You can just click on it. I don't see any issue for using big capital and small capital. Okay, so it's either one. Just make sure you type the correct spelling. That's all. Okay, there's not any whether we should use big capital or we should use small capital. Just make sure you include the correct Boolean operator. Okay. Any questions so far for the search, for the searching technique? No more question, right? Let me double check. All right, no any question about this, so we can go back to the slide. Okay, and next one, okay, is about how to present, okay, how to actually present the search outcome for our SLR paper. So if you are working on social science research, most of the time, we will use this review protocol. Okay, we will use Prisma as our review protocol. Prisma refers to the preference reporting item for systematic review and meta-analysis. These are the techniques that usually used by the researcher, okay, when working on social science research paper. Okay, if you are working on another discipline, okay, other discipline that you can actually apply a different review protocol. Okay, for example, if you are working on something related to the environmental research or environmental SLR, most of the researcher, they will apply this review protocol called LOSES, okay, reporting standard for systematic evidence synthesis. This is the review protocol for environmental research. Okay, but most of the time, I think when compared to LOSES, Prisma is the most frequently used review protocol. Okay, so you can actually using this review protocol, okay, to plan for your systematic review paper. Okay, why we need to use the Prisma protocol? Because it can somehow to help us to strengthen the quality and also rigor of systematic literature review. Remember just now we talked about the content, the core component for SLR paper is about the transparency, organized and also replicable. Okay, so this is the reason why the Prisma, the review protocol, should include in your SLR paper. Okay, so by using this Prisma protocol, it can actually help you to describe A to Z process of SLR in a more organized manner. Okay, A to Z meaning that what are the things that you start. Okay, what is the first step, second step until the last step. This is the purpose for the Prisma protocol, to describe the A to Z process of SLR paper. Okay, how do you actually include those articles in your paper? What are the reasons for you to exclude the article? Okay, so this is the purpose. Okay, how to actually present the search outcome, okay, using the review protocol. Okay, so these are the steps. Okay, if you happen to come across any SLR paper, okay, this is quite familiar. Okay, because usually when we do a SLR paper, the process is very generalized. Okay, meaning that if I do let's say if I do a SLR paper in halal tourism, okay, let's say this is the process that I apply. Later on, if I want to penetrate to another topic, okay, if I want to do about responsible tourism, I can also apply the similar process. The process is exactly the same, is similar. Okay, the only difference will just it will be about the content that you expect. Okay, the content is different, but the process is 100% similar. Okay, so this is something good about SLR. Okay, if you are the expert in doing SLR, you can actually do it across many different topics. Okay, not only restrict yourself for this particular topic, you can actually export to different field. Okay, for example, you want to do in marketing, if you want to do in tourism, you can, and also if you want to do on environmental research, you can, because the process is very much similar. Okay, the only difference will be about the content that you discuss. Okay, this is the advantage of the advantage of using the advantage of understanding SLR technique. Okay, so for the SLR paper, okay, most of the time you need to provide a very detailed explanation about the methodology. Okay, in the methodology section, you need to describe everything in very detail. Okay, so these are the steps. Okay, these are the steps that you should report. Okay, in your paper. The first step is about the identification. Okay, identification is very straightforward. Okay, identification meaning that you need to identify what are the keywords that you want to use. Okay, what are the keywords that you include in the search? What are the keywords? What are the database? Okay, this is mean by identification. Okay, for example, in the figure over here, okay, you can identify. Okay, for example, you identify the article, the number of article, okay, using, let's say, in Scopus database. After that, you can top up with additional record, how many articles that you're able to identify in another different sources. Okay, for example, you use a combination of Scopus and also Web of Science. So you might need to combine okay, all the articles that you able to find for both Scopus and also Web of Science database. Okay, of course, before you move to the second step, you might need to remove some of the duplicate article. Okay, if you are using Scopus and also Web of Science at the same time, most of the time there's quite a numbers of articles are actually repeating, because there are some articles they are actually they have this Scopus index, at the same time they have Web of Science index. So these are those articles that you might need to remove. Okay, you need to remove those duplicate articles. Okay, after you remove, then you might need to report in more detail. Okay, let's say you have 103 in the first database, you get another 3 additional article for the second database. So add on, you will have this after you combine out everything, you have 106.
Hi,
Okay,
Dr.
106.
Lim. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, Dr. Lim, for interrupt you. I think maybe
Oh,
are you showing your PPT because we can't see the slide? I'm sorry.
it's okay. Thanks for
Yeah, thanks. Thank
maybe
you.
can you see the slide now?
Yes, we can see the slide. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
just now
Sorry
I
about
think
that.
forget it. Yeah. So this is the step 1 about the identification. So this is something that you need to present in your paper. Okay, so how many articles that you identified from the first database, and also what are the numbers of articles in your second database. Okay, you need to identify the database, okay, that you use for your search, and also the keywords. Okay, so after that, before you move to the second step, you might need to remove some of the duplicate, the number of articles that are actually duplicate, the repeated articles. Okay, so after that, there will be your second step. Your second step is about the screening. Okay, screening meaning that you need to somehow, okay, you can use the database, okay, use the search engine to include and also to exclude those articles based on certain criteria. Okay, based on certain criteria, and all these criteria you can actually determine by yourself. Okay, determine by yourself, but of course the criteria that you propose must be something reasonable. Okay, you should not include any criteria that is not reasonable at all. Okay, so you can propose the criteria, okay, by yourself. Based on your topic, you find out what are the criteria that you can actually include. The criteria including those included criteria and also excluded criteria. Okay, for example, you can limit now the number of article, okay, based on the publication timeline. Okay, for example, you just want to focus on those article published in the less than 10 years. Okay, so those very old article you will excluded. Okay, so you can limit based on the publication timeline. You can limit according based on the language. Okay, you will only focus on those articles that publish in English. So that means that you will excluded, okay, excluded article that is not published in English. You can also limit based on the research field. Okay, for example, let's say the terms that you use, okay, the keyword that you use is actually quite a lot. So you can limit down according to the field. Okay, for example, if I want to do something about artificial intelligence, okay, or artificial intelligence research, but I only limit to business and management field. Okay, you can limit to certain research area, meaning that all those articles that publish in, let's say, in physical, in physics, in chemistry, in neuroscience, all these articles will consider excluded. Okay, and also we have this based on the document type. Okay, you can limit by only include articles, meaning, okay, by include only those article. Okay, meaning that you will exclude book in chapter, you will exclude proceeding paper, you will exclude any book. Okay, you will only include articles. Okay, these are some of the criteria that you can use to screen your articles. Okay, Next one is about step number 3. Okay, for step number 3 is about eligibility. Eligibility is about how to actually use this apply this technique. Okay, it's more on the manual screening. Okay, just now in step 2, we will use all the database to screen, okay, or to limit down to reduce the number of articles. And when it comes to step number 3, you will do a manual screening. Manual screening meaning that you yourself as the researcher, you need to somehow read all the articles one by one. Okay, of course, when you do the reading, you do not need to read it for every session. Okay, at this moment, you do not need to read for every session yet. You just need to roughly go through the article, okay, to make sure all the articles that you include are actually centered around your topic. Okay, so you can just, what you can do is you can do a quick reading on the abstract, on the introduction, and also the let's say the research objective of that particular paper, okay, to find out whether this paper is something relevant or something that is related to your topic. Okay, for example, sometimes when we read the articles, okay, when we search the article using the word artificial intelligence, okay, artificial intelligence, some of the paper that not actually discuss about artificial intelligence, but the author actually include artificial intelligence as one of the keywords. So you yourself need to somehow do a quick read. Okay, what is the main content about those articles? Let's say those articles they only touch the words artificial intelligence on the surface. Okay, for example, this article is study about self-service technology. The main content is about self-service technology, but they include artificial intelligence, okay, as the keyword. So these are the articles that you might need to exclude, okay, from the study. I'm sorry, I have one call coming in. I might need to pick up for a while. All right, I'm back. Sorry, there's a call from the Ministry of Health about the quarantine situation right now. And where we start just now, yeah, about the step 3. So you need to do a manual screening, okay, manual screening on all the articles that you, after you do the exclusion, okay, after you put in those inclusion and also exclusion criteria, okay, you need to somehow do a quick read on those articles. Okay, for example here, after you remove those duplicate articles, you have 102. After you include, okay, after you do the screening, okay, you excluded 81 article, okay, you excluded 81 article. So over here, you will, when you come to the step number 3, you will exclude another 5 articles, okay, exclude another 5 articles, meaning that these are those articles that is not relevant to your topic. Okay, after you exclude out, then this will be the final numbers of articles that you will include in your literature review, okay, in your SLR paper. So it come to the step number 4 about the included. All right, next one is about the number 4, about the topic number 4. Okay, before this, let me check about Dr. Hiron says he just called me. Are you sure? I did not on my Malaysian mobile number, so it's not possible. Yeah, okay, no question. So I will continue to step number 4, about the topic number 4. Okay, so the topic number for here, we will discuss about what are the content to include in SLR. Okay, what are the content to include in the SLR? So this is more about the process. Okay, the process for us to do the SLR paper. So the first one is about designing the review. Okay, designing the review. So at this before you do anything, you might need to find out, to identify what is the purpose for you to do this SLR paper. As I mentioned just now, the process is quite similar when we do the empirical paper. Okay, when you do an empirical paper, when you want to find out the research model, okay, you want to design a research model for your study. Okay, you need to measure there is some contribution. Okay, there's some contribution for your research. Similar to the SLR paper, contribution is also very important. Okay, it's not like just do a review, okay, without any purpose, without any contribution. So before you do the SLR paper, you need to find out, okay, try to ask yourself, what is the contribution, okay, what is the contribution of conducting this review, okay? So this is the first step to design the review. Other than this, other than the contribution, you might need to also include a purpose, okay? You might need to include a specific purpose and also the research question for your review articles, for your SLR paper. Okay, this is a very important component, okay, for SLR paper. Research question is the one that will guide us throughout the process. Okay, this is the reason why I discussed just now. Everything, the search, the database is go back to your topic. Okay, from your topic, you need to somehow narrow down to a specific purpose, a specific research question. So later in the end of your SLR paper, your the thing that you need to do is actually to address whatever research question that you have proposed in the earlier stage. Okay, similar to when you do empirical paper. Let's say you want to study about the relationship between this variable and also this variable. So later in the end, your contribution in the discussions, in the session of discussion, you need to measure these are the content that you have addressed. Okay, so yeah, research question, okay, your research question and also the contribution is the first thing that you need to find out, okay, when designing the review. So what are the research questions that you can include? Okay, when you want to include the research question, make sure the research question for your topic is not too general. Okay, it's not too general. Why? Let's say if the question is too general, later on it will somehow result in more you will get more articles. The number of articles that you search is actually a lot, and it's actually quite time consuming for you to read the article one by one. Let's say if you put in one general question, okay, you put in one general question, later you will get, for example, you will get 2,000 or 3,000 articles. It's quite impossible for you to read those articles, okay? And also when we want to draft our SLR paper, okay, when you want to submit to any journal, there's the word limit, so you should not include too many articles, okay? So the research question that you propose should not be too general, and also the question that you propose should not be too specific. Okay, if the question is too specific, you will only get a very limited, okay, numbers of articles. The number of articles that you include is too little or too few. Okay, so you need to somehow strike a balance between general and also specific. Okay, for the research question. And also the research question can be either in a more quantitative base, or using a more qualitative research question. Quantitative meaning that you try to do some comparative review, okay, or you want to find out some relationship, okay, between some variable, between this variable and also this theory. Okay, so this will be more about the quantitative research question. For quali, it's more flexible. Okay, for quali, most of the time we are actually try to solve certain problem, or we want to solve certain difficulty. Okay, so this is the research question that is more related to the quality, either quantity or quality should not have any issue. Okay, and the second step is about conducting the review. Okay, when you're conducting the review, okay, this is where you need to bring in the Prisma protocol. Okay, you need to have a practical plan for all the selecting article. You need to somehow clearly highlighted what are the criteria for you to include and exclude the document. Okay, what are the search process? What are the search process that you apply in your searching? What are the how this process can actually help you to find out or to identify those quality articles. Okay, so this is more about the conducting the review. When you want to conduct the review, okay, for your SLR paper, you can actually do what we call the pilot test. Okay, for empirical paper, it's quite compulsory for us to have this pilot test or pre-test before we collect the data. It's similar to the SLR paper. You can do a pilot test, okay, of the review process. Okay, you do a pilot test of the review process, try to in order to increase the quality and also the reliability of your search protocol. Try to do a pilot test. Okay, let's say if you include these keywords and these keywords, what are the article that you can actually found from the database. Okay, so you can do include a pilot test first before you conduct the actual search for your SLR paper. And next one is about the analyze. Okay, analyze, it will go back to the topic that we discussed in the earlier session about the type of SLR paper. Okay, analyze, you need to analyze the result. Okay, or discuss the result based on what are the type of SLR paper that you want to present. Okay, for example, if you want to do a bibliometric review, okay, you want to do a bibliometric review, you need to find out what are the important content, okay, or what are the important findings that you should analyze based on your search. Okay, so for analyze, it will go back to the question about the type of SLR paper that you want to use or that you want to implement for your SLR, okay, for your review paper. And next one is about the step number 4 is about the structuring and also writing, okay, structuring and also writing the review. Okay, so for this structuring and writing the review, okay, it's more it's emphasized more on the how do you actually communicate, okay, how do you actually communicate the finding of your paper. Okay, after you get all this paper, so what you need to do, what are the things that you want to include, what are the things that you want to somehow describe. So for this part, okay, it will go back to the contribution. Okay, let's say in your introduction, you actually highlight that this is the contribution of this SLR paper. So later when you write the SLR paper, okay, later when you write the review, make sure you have addressed the contribution. Okay, make sure you clearly communicate what are the contributions, okay, from after you correct all the articles, after you explain and also analyze all the article, what are the contributions. So you need to go back again to your research question. So for us to write or to structure the literature review, can actually, the SLR paper can actually, the structure of SLR paper can actually result in many different ways. Okay, for example, we want to provide a historical analysis of the development within a research field or within a topic. Okay, so you can provide the historical analysis. For example, in let's say in the past 10 years, okay, these are the trend that is happening. Okay, these are the variables or these are the findings that found by the researcher. Or you can actually propose, okay, you can actually propose, otherwise you can structure your systematic review based on the agenda for future research. Okay, for example, after you discuss the finding, you have this future research direction. Okay, you try to discuss what are the future direction area that the reader can actually explore. For example, the direction for the theoretical novelty, how to actually provide, okay, the the pathway for advancing theoretical novelty, the pathway for enhancing the contextual relevance, and also the pathway for improving the methodological rigor. Okay, so this is for the agenda. You can also structure based on what Sue have mentioned just now, using a conceptual model. Okay, use a conceptual model. So from that, you provide a visualization, the visual diagram. Okay, about this is something that the reader can actually explore in future. Okay, so there are many different ways for you to structure the literature review. Okay. All right, and next one, okay, next slide is I will like to share something about the characteristic, okay, for an ideal review paper. Okay, if you aim to publish your SLR paper in some of the top journal, okay, that these are some of the characteristics that you need to include in your SLR paper. For me, SLR paper. For me, what I feel about what I think about the SLR paper is these are something that is quite, for what we see, this is something quite easy. But when you really do the SLR paper, you will feel then only you will feel the difficulty. Okay, so SLR paper is not as easy as what we see, and also it's not easy as what we have read. When we read the articles, okay, those SLR articles, sometimes we might have this kind of impression. It's quite easy to do, but later on when we really want to start, the process will be quite difficult, quite challenging, because it requires a lot of reading. You need to read a lot, then only you're able to somehow critically review and also critically explain, evaluate all the past study. So it's quite time consuming, but if you aim to become the expert in your field, okay, this is something that I'm sure you can do. Okay, for example, if you want to become the king or the queen in a specific topic, okay, in responsible tourism, in halal tourism, or in particular any area, okay, so make sure you have some detailed understanding about what is happening right now in your area. So in order to do that, I think SLR paper is it's a good approach, okay, for you to have more have some meta knowledge about the area of your study. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the characteristics for ideal review paper. This information or this point is actually extracted from one article. This is what the article, although it's published in 2002, when you look at this the reference here, okay, but this paper provide quite useful technique. Okay, if you really want to prepare a SLR paper for your study, or when you want to write a good literature review, okay, I would suggest you to do a quick read from this on this paper. This paper is actually published in this one of the top one journal, MIS quarterly. So this paper identify and highlight quite detailed, okay, and also quite some of the, I think the tips that shared by the author is actually quite useful. So in this paper, it highlighted that, okay, these are the characteristics for ideal review article. Okay, first one, you need to measure, okay, the articles, motivate the research topic, and also explain the review contribution. This is what we mentioned just now. Okay, for you to design the SLR paper, the review, you need to have very good contribution. Okay, make sure the contribution is something very novelty. Okay, some new contribution, provide a new contribution in your area. Describe the key concept, okay, and also the boundary of the research. Review relevant past literature in the field and also related area. Okay, this is similar to the searching technique. Okay, you need to use a structured approach when you do a search. Okay, either go forward or go backward. You can apply both of these. Okay, you need to develop a model to guide future research. Okay, you need to provide the suggestion. Okay, what are the suggestions for future research? Justify proposition by presenting theoretical explanation, past empirical finding, and also the practical example. present concluding implication for researcher and also the manager. And most importantly, it should be explanatory and also creative. Okay, explanatory and also creative. Make sure your SLR paper, okay, is served to explain something. Okay, not just describe anything, not just to describe the information, describe the past study, but serves to explain something. Okay, so these are the characteristics for ideal review paper. So before you submit your SLR paper, you can somehow refer to this, some of the component over here. Try to ask yourself how many you have achieved. Okay, whether 50%, 70%, or 100%. Okay, if you're able to achieve, you're able to tick it in more of the component over here, okay, I'm sure you definitely can penetrate into top journal. All right, and this is some of the reason why your SLR paper or why my SLR paper was rejected. Okay, the first reason here is because we failed to discuss in detail how the SLR was conducted. Okay, meaning that we made it we do not actually describe, okay, we do not actually evaluate both the quality. We overlook those quality journal, okay, we overlook those quality paper. This could be one of the reasons, okay, why our paper get rejected. And also we fail to provide the research question in our introduction, okay, for our SLR paper. We do not actually include any research question. We do not actually provide the details about the criteria, why we include and why we excluded those articles. And also we do not actually provide, okay, the search process. This could be the first reason. Second one, you tend to, your paper, okay, tend to reduce the sample size to make the review easier to handle. For example, you try to only, you only included maybe less than 10 articles, because less than 10 articles is quite easy for you to review. This could be another reason for why your paper get rejected. Okay, let's say if the sample size of your paper, the number of articles that you include in your review is very limited. Okay, if the number of articles is very limited, but you actually able to explain why you only include this number of articles, I guess it should not have any issue for your paper. Okay, for your paper to maybe to go through the test review. Okay, it should not have any problem as long as you're able to provide a detailed explanation for all the process. The second reason, fail to present and also explain the result of the review clearly. Okay, for example, you include in your paper, you include too many figure and also too many figure and also the table without any explanation. Okay, this is the third reason. And the last reason here is you fail to provide truly valuable contribution to the review. Okay, in your review paper, your SLR paper only describe the descriptive summary of the past study. Okay, for example, you just highlight, okay, these are the trend of the publication. Okay, the number of articles that published within this topic is increasing without any variable contribution, without any deep contribution. This could be the another reason. Okay, so what I would like to share is whenever you get the rejection, try to use those rejection as the tools for learning and also growing. Should not just give up halfway. All right, I think that's all for my session.